about Artemis, right? So, let me tell you more about Artemis and about future missions. Between late May and early June, Artemis 1 will launch. Artemis 1 will be the first combined test of NASA's deep space exploration systems, the Orion spacecraft, the Space Launch System, and the ground systems at Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida. This is the very first in the series of many complex missions. Artemis 1 will be an uncrewed flight test that will provide a foundation for astronauts in the future. During this flight, the spacecraft will launch on the SLS. It is the most powerful rocket in the world, and it will fly further than any spacecraft that has ever built and flown by humans. It will travel 208,000 miles from Earth, and that is thousands of miles beyond the moon over the course of about 4 to 6 week mission. Orion will stay in space longer than any ship that astronauts has done without docking in the space station and return home faster and hotter than ever before. Onto the moon! As Orion continues its path from Earth's orbit to the moon, it will be propelled by a service module provided by the European Space Agency, which will supply the spacecraft's main propulsion system and power. Orion will pass through the Van Allen radiation belt and fly past the global positioning systems and through the satellite constellation and above the communication satellites in Earth's orbit. To talk with Mission Control in Houston, Orion will switch from NASA's tracking and data relay satellite systems and communicate through the Deep Space Network. From here, Orion will demonstrate its unique design to navigate, to operate, and to communicate through deep space environment. The trip to the moon will take several days. During this time, engineers will evaluate the spacecraft systems and correct its trajectory. Orion will fly about 62 miles above the surface of the moon and then use the moon's gravitational force to propel Orion to the opposite direction and orbit about 40,000 miles from the moon. Spacecraft will stay in that orbit for approximately 6 days to collect data and allow the mission controllers to assess the performance of the spacecraft. Return and re-entry. For its return trip, Orion will do another flyby within about 60 miles of the moon's surface. Orion will use another timed engine, firing off the European provided surface module in conjunction with the moon's gravity to accelerate back towards Earth. This maneuver will set the spacecraft on its correct trajectory back towards Earth to enter our planet's atmosphere. Traveling at 25,000 miles per hour, producing temperatures of approximately 2,760 degrees Celsius, faster and hotter than Orion experienced during its 2014 flight test. Oh my goodness! This is so scary and exciting at the same time. After about 3 weeks and the total distance traveled exceeding 1.3 million miles, the mission will end with a test of Orion's capability to return safely to Earth as the spacecraft makes its precision landing within eyesight of the recovery ship off the coast of Baja California. Following splashdown, Orion will remain powered for a period of time as divers from the U.S. Navy and operation teams from NASA's Exploration Ground Systems approach in small boats from the waiting recovery ship. The divers will briefly inspect the spacecraft for hazards and hook up the tending and tow lines, and then engineers will tow the capsule into the well deck of the recovery ship to bring the spacecraft home. I wish I can go and see myself. This is super duper amazing. So, where did the name Artemis come from? Artemis is the twin sister of Apollo and the goddess of the moon in Greek mythology. She represents the path to the moon as the name of NASA's efforts to return astronauts in a new wave of science equipment and technology demonstrations to the lunar surface. When they land, American astronauts will step foot where no human has ever been before, which is the moon's South Pole. How amazing is that? Let's talk about future missions. With this first exploration mission, NASA is leading the next steps of human exploration into deep space, where astronauts will build and begin testing the systems near the moon. The second flight will take crew on a different path and test Orion's critical systems with human aboard. The SLS rocket will evolve from sending 26 metric tons to at least 45 metric tons. Together, Orion, SLS, and the ground systems of Kennedy will be able to meet on the most challenging crew and cargo that the missions need in deep space. Future exploration missions with crew aboard Orion will assemble and dock with a gateway. NASA and its partners will use the gateway for deep space operations. Using lunar orbit, they will gain the experience necessary to extend human exploration further into the solar system than ever before. At the moon, they will find and use water for other critical resources needed for long-term explorations. Investigate the moon's mysteries and learn more about our home planet and the universe. Learn how to live and operate on the surface of other celestial body, where astronauts are just 3 days from home. Prove the technologies they need before sending astronauts on the missions to Mars, which can take up to 3 years round trip. Did you know that you can send your name to the moon with Artemis 1 mission? All you have to do is fill out NASA's online form. Names that are collected will be put on a flash drive that will fly aboard the uncrewed spacecraft. Once you have submitted your name, you can collect a boarding pass for the mission. This is my boarding pass. You can print out the boarding pass too, like me. And also, you can keep this boarding pass forever and ever. forever. Going back to the moon will be a shining moment of our generation. This moment will belong to all of us, the Artemis generation. Are you ready? I hope you liked my video, so please like, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. So, bye! See you in my next video. Bye! See you in my next video.